What is good, y'all? We are live from Medellin right now. I'm with my brothers right now. We got Ruben.
So guys, there you go. We got Jesse and
We
Gary
got
here in the
Jesse
house.
Gary here right now in the crib. And we're all out here in Medellin, wholesaling from fucking Medellin, and we are just getting this shit fucking going. My boy Jesse's been locking up novation deals all fucking day.
Don't fuck around.
I know my boy Ruben's been getting JV deals all fucking day, just getting dispo fucking rolling. And I wanted to get up here today. I know I didn't go live earlier, but I've been fucking working all day. I have a novation deal I'm actually about to lock up, hopefully shortly. I'm just waiting for the seller to call me back, or else I'm going to call them back. But we're going to do a little podcast setting right now. Go over both of their stories, what got them into wholesaling, what is good, Jamie LeBlanc. Hope you're doing good today, my brother. And we're going to get right into this shit. So, who wants to start, Ruben or Jesse? Who we starting with?
Doesn't
All right, let's start with Ruben. So, Ruben, tell everybody about your background, what got you into wholesaling, and just how that journey's been so far.
For sure. So what got me into wholesaling, right? I mean, I just started hearing about it. People making big checks, and at this time, I was working at an insurance company. I was a manager there, just a 9 to 5 job. 60, 70K salary. It just wasn't what we wanted to be around. I would see the people that I was just around, and I'm just like, dude, this is just not the type of people I want to be around with. So not to sound mean or anything, but anyway, I was supposed to work one day at my insurance job. The girl that worked for me calls me off. She's like, "Hey, can you work for me? No, can I work for you today? And you work for me this day?" And I was like, "Cool." So I didn't have anything to do. What I do is I go online, go to meetup.com. I had nothing to do that day, so I'm just like, "What the hell am I gonna do?" I see that there's a meetup event, and it's Steve Trang. I don't know if you know Steve Trang. He's a Phoenix guy out there, and dude, I was the first one that showed up. It was right down the street for me, like a quarter mile down the street. It just all happened. Like I was blessed. Literally, God just gave me that opportunity. I show up, and it's Carlos Reyes and Sal Shakir, which are like big players in Phoenix. But anyway, that got me the introduction. I started working for Steve and Max. And dude, like 2 months later, I get my first deal at my insurance job. I was supposed to go to lunch. I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna make some calls in the back room here. It was like the third phone call. This guy just says yes, and by this time I hadn't even practiced like my full script. You would just get denied, and you're just done right there. So this time I was like, what the hell? So yeah, I mean, I didn't know shit. I just talked to him, threw out a range, and he was like, yeah, sure. So I set up the appointment next day and locked it up, dude. So that's what got me started. Eventually, I think that was like 5 months later, February of 2019, I jumped on full board and then just been working ever since, dude.
Hell yeah.
Acquisitions, mainly disposition here this time around. So any any deals in AZ, that's kind of my main market. Um, but dude, if there's a deal anywhere, it can be sold.
That's it.
So a little bit about it.
And how has the journey been since you've been going? Like, how long did it take you to get real consistency? And once you got that consistency, like, how has that business looked ever since?
Um, Honestly, dude, it didn't really start hitting until I went off on my own. Because I used to work for a company, right? But you can only make so much working for a company, and getting a piece of the pie. But it wasn't until I left the company, which was it was April of 2022, was when I went on my own full board. And dude, yeah, man, just after that, just relationships. This is a relationship business, so it's like my relationship grew. uh and it just made, we got our systems in place, we got the connections, and it just started just picking up, man. And of course, being on the dispo end, it's like you got to perform. People won't send you deals if you don't perform. So so that was what was at stake. People would send me deals, and I would have to perform. So I just grew and grew and kept on having those relationships. So it's just a blessing, bro. Nowadays we got some marketing we're doing, and a little bit here and there.
What advice would you have for people that are in that dispo seat right now when they're trying to work their deals?
What advice? Well, first things first, you gotta. It's like a offense kind of game, right? It's definitely not a defense kind of game. Just like acquisitions, you got to go out for it. You got to go out and look for buyers, right? Whether it's going out to, meetups, going out to events, making phone calls, like straight cold calling buyers. But it's easier because you're providing value to them, right? You got a deal, so it just comes very easy, very smooth. And they're if they want a deal, obviously they're going to be welcoming, they're going to be cool with it. So just a lot of action, whether it's going out to meetups, cold calling buyers, looking at past properties that have sold in that area and fixed and flip, and just literally look up these LLCs and just call them directly. So go hard in the paint.
You gotta
You
just
know,
it's kind of funny because a lot of people don't realize that dispo is just as hard as acquisition, and you have to take like the same type of action with it. And I think that's one of the biggest things people say, because I've done a lot of JVs, and I remember when we're reaching out on Facebook trying to get new JV partners, there's people that are like, oh, you got to fucking I'm not doing a 50-50 split because dispo's not 50% of the deal. And I'm like, what do you mean? If you can't sell your deal, then how is it not 50%? You're making
0%.
$0.
yeah, 0%. Without selling it, you're not making shit.
Exactly. And it's because maybe they've had some deals that moved easy. They reached out to like one or two buyers and they ended up taking it. And that happens. But then there's also the deals that you still make a lot or a good amount of money on, and you just got to work on. And I feel like that's one of the biggest things people miss when it comes to dispo, especially once you start running at scale. It's like, no, you got to work both sides of the business. I look at this business as a 50-50 business where you got to have both engines running at all times.
Yeah, one without the other is not successful, right? So I mean, and to that point, a lot of times people will send me deals, and honestly, dude, I'm not the type of dude to be like, oh, let's go 50-50 in all deals. Like, if you have a set price that you want, okay, give me that set price, and then I'll just add my fee on top of it. Very straightforward. I'm not like trying to, I'm just here trying to collab, trying to help out and actually get that deal closed and sold, because if it doesn't get sold, then you're not getting paid, I ain't getting paid, no one's getting paid.
Exactly.
You
So
know?
you do add your fee, or you always 50-50 when you're doing
It
JVs?
varies. It varies, man. I got relationships that we already have our set relationships with for a long time, so it's 50-50. But sometimes people will come to me and send me deals. Hey, I have this deal for this price. And at that point, I just add my fee on top. And if I get some feedback and they're lower, then that's when we negotiate to try to make the deal work out.
Oh yeah.
That comes with the experience, though. Looking at a deal. Sorry, that comes with the experience of looking at a deal and seeing the spread, right? Seeing what a buyer would see. Because if they send you a deal, I don't know, 100K, and you can add 10K. I mean, why wouldn't you work the deal, right? You're about to make 10K. If you can sell it off to that buyer, it comes with knowing the experience, knowing your comps, right? That's a little hidden part of wholesaling. If you don't know your comps, you're not gonna acquire the deal. You're not gonna dispo the deal. Like, you're just done, bro. You got a dead lead, basically.
That's all that is at that point.
Yeah.
So Jesse, give us a little bit about your background. What got you into wholesaling, and kind of same shit.
All right. So my journey starts a little differently. I used to work solar, and my main thought when I got into solar, that was the best job I've had. I mean, I started being a drug addict at 16 years old to 20, and I'm talking about heavy drugs, guys. And when I turned 21, I got into solar. I thought that was my life. I'm like, I'm gonna make solar my bitch. I'm gonna do all these big things in solar. And what happened was, 3 years after working in solar, I fell off a roof, hit my head, busted it open, and they had to send me to the hospital. So they do the MRI, and long story short, they find out I got a tumor. So, that whole process starts in itself. And as I'm going through this whole tumor situation, my thoughts were, I'm 25 years old. How the heck do I have a tumor? I was out of weight. Dude, I was big. For my size, I was big. So I started getting on a health journey, a health kick, started watching YouTube videos on working out, getting better, just self improvement overall. That led me to wholesaling. Started watching some videos on how to make money without money, and I got interested. I'm like, okay, this is the move, right? Fuck solar. Like, this is the move. Um, I started with a buddy of mine that I used to work in solar with. We both started together. He was more active than I was. He was more pushy. I was just kind of like, dude, I got this good solar job. Like, like, I'll try it on the side. Yeah, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'll kind of try it on the side. And in one of those, he had a meetup set up that he was going to. He was like, dude, I can't make it. it was actually the real estate disruptors meetup at Dave and Buster's. So shout out to Steve Train, bro. Like he got some killers onboarded. So he hits me up, says, I can't make it. Can you make it for me? I'm like, fuck, dude. I don't know if I want to go. I'm not that type of person. I always considered myself an introvert back then. Now I don't even say that word because like it's relevant. But I was like, dude, I show up, and Ruben will tell you because he's one of the first people I meet. I show up with this big old oversized sports coat. You know what I mean? With the little ass shirt, baggy ass pants. Like I'm trying to be professional, but I'm like heading in the way opposite direction. And my palms are sweaty, dude. My conversations aren't going right. Ruben, we start talking. I'm just asking him questions about how he got started. How do I get started? Where should I start? I got his number. Didn't do shit with it for 2 years. Kept working in solar. 2 years later, I start, door knocking for solar cells because I'm like, cells is the way to go, right? If I can't do wholesaling houses, I'm gonna start doing solar.
You wanted to face your fear.
Yeah, so I literally, dude, I quit my job, solar, 9 to 5, is getting a consistent check. And I started door knocking. I got like 2 deals, I was like, all right, decent. In those 2 deals, I hit Ruben up. I was like, dude, I'm doing solar now. I'm selling, like, I'm trying to sell houses. Those are the big checks.
Oh yeah.
He brings me into the office where Max, Steve, and Ryan are at. And basically, I'm just meeting up with him, just asking him some questions. They're overhearing the whole conversation. And I leave that place and I get a call from Ryan and it goes, hey, let's pretend, their whole script, let's pretend we offered you a job. What would you do? What would you say to that? I'm like, I'd quit my solar job tomorrow and I'd come into the office, like quit playing. He's like, whoa, 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 chill. He had me do some paperwork, right? The predictive index test, see what kind of personality I am. I quit solar like 2 days later, jump on board with them. And that's where the journey really started for me. Like I was in it. I was living in my truck still at the time, bro, outside of my mom's house, doing DoorDash on the side, trying to make money, making these calls.
Oh yeah.
I think it took me like 6 months before I actually closed on my first deal, 4 months before I locked it up. And after I got that proof of concept, I'm like, dude, that's it. I'm in it. I'm
All
in
in
it.
from there.
All in from there, bro. So that's kind of my story, my background, and how I started. And it's been a blessing ever since. I mean, check it out, guys. I mean, we're in Colombia, making phone calls, talking to sellers, solving problems. You know what I mean? It's not all about making money because you build these relationships throughout the period of this time, and these are long-lasting relationships where you learn and grow with people that are at a higher level than you. And you're not only growing as in real estate, but you're growing as a person, right? The morals get more solidified. Depending on how you are, who you're talking to, your ethical side gets built up. I mean, rubbing shoulders with the right people, you're gonna learn a thing or two. Straight up.
That's what it is. It's just taking action and showing up. I feel like that's like the biggest part of this shit. And that's where I was having a conversation the other day, and it's just crazy how fucking people just can't get that right.
No
Like,
plan
just-
B. You got to go all out, bro. You gotta
That's
go all in.
I was doing a call for like the superhuman community that I'm in with Aaron Bevins, and somebody asked me, they're like, did you ever have a plan B? Because I was going over my story and just how fucked up it was and like how long it took me to get to where I am. And they're like, did you ever have a plan B? Was there ever a point where you like were like, okay, no, maybe I got to do something else? And the first response was fuck no, because I never like. I haven't. This is. It's either I'm going to make this work or I'm going to die trying, and that's where I've been at, and that's why it's working now. So if you guys give yourself a plan B, and you're like, nah, like if this, like I'll give it a try. I'll see if this works. Wherever you guys are at in the business, like you're not going to make it.
That's
It's one.
already a limiting belief right there. Like
You're
I'm
already
gonna
losing.
try. You're already telling yourself like, hey, I'm gonna try, but it might not work out. That's already a limiting belief that you believe about yourself that you're not gonna accomplish it. That's why you're like, I'm gonna try. You know what I mean? That's the key. Get those limiting beliefs out of your head, and it's a process, bro. You're not gonna just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I believe I can do it." You know what I mean? It's not fake it till you make it, bro. No, it's a consistent process. You got to get those thoughts, start engineering in your head through podcasts, videos, self help books, and as those other thoughts come into place, you replace the thought. You're like, oh, this is the original thought I revert to where I'm scared. I'm gonna replace it with this where I'm gonna take action and just jump in.
There you go. And I think it's the action behind that too, right? The thoughts is one thing, but the action, once you do the action, it's like then you feel like you deserve it. You know, if you don't put in the action and you think you deserve, like you don't really feel like you deserve it. You know what I mean? Because you don't deserve it. But if you put in day work, day in, day out, then you're like, dude, I'm the motherfucker that's putting in the work. I'm the one that's doing this and that. I deserve this, and you feel like you do. You and you fucking do.
Exactly.
You know, so that's putting in the work. It goes back to
That's what I mean. They say confidence creates confidence. So it's like the more that you do the reps, the more confident you're gonna get. So even if you guys get in this shit and you're like, well, how the fuck do I make a call? Get a script from somebody that's done it and then just go through the reps over and over and over. And the more times you do it, the more calls you make, the more times you get told to go fuck yourself on the phones. Eventually you just figure it out. Like, and it's kind of crazy because there's people that like you fail forward. That's like the biggest motto of this business is like just be willing to fail. It's all good. Like you have that's where like growing up in our school system in the United States, they teach you you're not supposed to fail. If you get a question wrong on a test, you get penalized for that shit like that.
or
No,
don't copy people, or like don't work with others. Like, dude, are you kidding me? That's all stuff that is the total opposite of business.
that's
You
really what
know?
it is though, because it's like we get it's ingrained in our brains, and you have to unlearn so much shit just to get to the levels that we're trying to go in wholesaling. That it's like it's a constant learning process, and it's through failing forward. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. That's what it is. Like even now in my business today, where like we've done a 6 figure month last month, we're doing a 6 figure month this month. We're failing every fucking day, and it's just part of it. And it's like every time we get through, but we're not failing on the same shit we failed on yesterday. And that's the sauce right there. It's like as long as you're failing and then you're learning through your failures, you're not having an ego.
It's only a failure if you didn't learn shit.
That's a
It's only a
fact.
failure if you didn't learn shit. If you didn't pick up something that you could have done better, something you could have handled better, or even just received better, you didn't learn shit. You're gonna go through that same fucking experience again.
Exactly. And that's why you got to look inwards. Like the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willing talks about how you have to take ownership of everything that's happening to you. If you're a business owner and there's shit going on in your business, it's a result of you as the owner. Like that, it doesn't matter what's going on, who's fucking up. You are to blame for it. Whether you hired the wrong person or you hired the right person, you just didn't explain the task to them correctly. That's what's going to cause the things to go wrong in businesses. So just make sure whatever the fuck you guys are doing, if you're failing, embrace that shit and enjoy that shit and understand like if I'm failing, that means I'm actually doing it the right way. And then just keep fucking going.
Get those L's out of the way so you can get that W. So it's like, give me the L's faster so I can get to that W quicker.
Exactly.
So
It's almost like when you're calling and like you think like you want a contract, you want a contract, you want a contract. How about focus on how many no's can I get today? Fine, start with that when you
great.
guys are first getting into calling, and then instead of counting the contracts, count the no's. And if you guys get to 100, 200, 300, 1,000 no's, and you don't have a fucking contract yet, like you haven't made 1,000 calls yet. You will eventually get that fucking contract, and it's just counting those no's and just getting through all the failures, and then just correcting yourself. Like, why did this person tell me go fuck off? Listen back to that call if you have a phone system, and then like figure out where you went wrong and then correct it, and then you're not going to get that same no from that same type of person.
And I'll add to that, dude. Honestly, you don't even have to be like a badass closer, like to get your first deal. I'm telling you, my first deal was strictly because I was taking action. That's how I got lucky. Like I didn't know what to say, how to say it. I just had a motivated seller that wanted to sell, and I was a person that was doing the buying. So it's like, dude, you will get lucky by taking action. You will never get lucky by not taking action. You know what I'm saying?
It's a numbers game at the end of the day.
Yep, yep. So what's that saying? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Exactly. And
You know?
honestly, I would rather the hard worker than the talented person, because the talented person is going to get fucking lazy eventually because they're going to put in results. But then eventually, if they're like you have someone that's just taking constant action and they're just decent versus someone that's extremely talented but they're only working a couple days a week because they feel like they got it. Guess what? That person that's working harder with the decentness or whatever the fuck we're going to call it is going to get way more results over time than that person that has the talent but is not taking the consistent action. That's all that shit is about. But yo, let me call his lead really quick. Let's see if this guy answers and we can lock him up. So I had this guy on the phone before. I sent him out the contract. He we're going over the contract and he's at work and he's like, I'm about to fucking like, can you just give me a couple hours and then like I want to sit down when I actually have time to go over this shit. So we're gonna try to call him back right now, see if we can't get this done.
Hopefully the background beeping doesn't mess it up. lot of traffic out here.
Here we got the highway right. Oh, they can't see the highway right back there. Oh, come on,
Call
Paul.
again. Call again.
Yeah, let's double dial.
You're not triple dialing.
Yeah. Are you
Nope.
even trying? Are you even trying?
You want this
You
sale?
get disconnected. Hey, we sorry we got disconnected, man. Somehow.
Come on, Paul. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. Could you hear me?
At the tone.
What?
Was that the fake?
He had
fucking
one of those
voice
fucking
accent?
things, bro.
One more time. One more time. That's what. And then it's followed by a text. Oh, great.
You were supposed to call me back, Paul. He got my ass.
Dude, I thought it was him.
I like sat up. I'm like, hey, Paul. Every time you go for the triple tap, they answer. It's like it's weird. Wait, what the
Alright,
fuck?
now you forwarded it. So he's definitely receiving. He's just not
Hey,
picked up.
Paul. Still good to go over. Every time you triple tap, it's like, oh, for some reason your phone wasn't working.
Like, man, for some reason it wasn't going through. So did it go through? No.
We're gonna wait for this guy to call me back, but let's talk about Medellin, which I've been saying wrong for the last fucking what, like 3 weeks now. I just found out today. So both of these guys live here basically full time. You guys are both from Arizona, right?
Yeah,
They're both from Arizona, came out here, fucking fell in love with it out here, and they're living the life that I'm probably gonna be living for a lot longer too. So what got you guys out here? And then also let's just talk about like wholesaling in fucking Medellin versus like, I don't know, being in the US and doing it from fucking there.
For sure, for sure. So what got me out here? Honestly, man, it was
Let's start over here.
Let's start over there. Let's start over there.
Because I basically
Would you get
I kind of started the trip here, guys. Our lease, we were roommates.
There we
You know,
go.
there you go. That's a lot
That's so much better.
better. So just to start this off, we were roommates back, in AZ. We were both staying in Scottsdale.
year.
Yeah, just this past year. And our lease was up in like August or July, and we were talking about like, all right, where are you going? What am I doing? We might have went back to Tucson. My uncle hits me up out of the blue and was like, "Yo, I'm moving to Honduras." He's like, "You should come with me. I noticed you work from home." My thought was like, "Dude, I work from home. Fuck it, let's go. Like, let's go." If I could work like in my mind, I'm already thinking everything I do from my computer and my phone. If I can get my cell phone service, provider set up, all the good things right, I can make this work. I was like, let's do it. Told Ruben about it, and he's like, "Oh, bro, I'm going with you." Like just like that, instant action, bro. Like no thinking about it. He's like, "Oh, bro, I'll go with you." So we start planning, start making plans, buying plane tickets. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
And
said Colombia.
no, yeah. So he brings up Colombia, and I'm like, dude, we can travel. It doesn't matter. Like we stay a month in Honduras, couple months, whatever. Go to Colombia, check it out, bounce around. Like it really doesn't matter. With what we do, we can do this anywhere. Same with you guys. Like you guys aren't locked down to where you're at. You can basically pick up and do this anywhere as long as you have the heart to make the fucking calls,
Discipline.
the discipline, right? Like make the calls and get the job done. Learn. You're not, even if you can't do it right at first, right? You're gonna learn. But yeah, he brings up Colombia. I'm like, cool, let's go. Fuck it. We'll start in Colombia, then we'll go visit my uncle. And we get here, man. And I'll tell you, like, just as soon as we get here, the money's different, the food's different, the people are different. Like
The views are different.
the views are different. And dude, I fell in love with the cost of living out here. I fell in love with the people. I've had some great conversations, some great relationships just with people that live here. Great, what they call them locales here, but like shops, whether they're restaurants or just other places that I go to commonly. And that's really what got me to stay here. Just the day to days is simple, very simple. The cost of living is just crazy. Like this is a place where you can bank, rack up your money. Not only that, that we get these like beautiful Airbnbs where everything's already done. You don't have to worry about paying a utility bill
For half the price.
for half the
More than the
price.
price that I'm fucking paying.
So, dude, all right, that's what got me out here. My uncle was like, "Yo, Honduras." Ruben was like, "Colombia." I was like, "Let's go." All right, Ruben, tell your side of the story. I don't know how it went in your head.
Well, I had brought up Colombia because like 3 years before that, I had networked with this guy. Right, again, it's a relationship business and wholesaling. He was a wholesaler too, and he was telling me that he was out here in Colombia. And this is when I first got started. So I'm like, dude, in my mind, I'm like, dude, I want to do that. Like, I want to go out there. I want to do that. And sure enough, I mean, the opportunity came up, right? We had our lease in Scottsdale. I mean, then we were in a nice area, bro. We're North Scottsdale, nice place, like good vibes. It was just we wanted to change, so we were like, fuck it, dude. Let's just hit up Honduras. Honduras just opened up the mind, you know. So it opened up the mind, but then after that, we're like, all right, let's go check out Colombia. So we flew out here, just like Jesse said, dude. We enjoyed fucking everything about here, bro. It's like the people, how cheap it is, the greenery, the views. And you can't complain, right? And also doing the business from here, it's like, why not? It's like people ask me, why are you out here? It's like, what do you mean? Why not? It's a better
like, why would
question.
I not?
You know what I
Why
mean?
are you out
Why-
here?
exactly.
Why aren't you out here?
Which we brought up a lot of friends out here because of this. So, you know, a lot of people have came out here and have also got to experience Medellin, you know, the beautiful fucking place it is. So, what about you? What got you out here?
Dude, so I've been going to South America a lot. I grew up going to Brazil. My stepdad was Brazilian growing up, so I used to go to Brazil like every single summer. So like I always was in love with South America, just the landscape here, the food, the people, everything. Then one of my best friends started going to Ecuador. The first trip I went with him, his girlfriend was Ecuadorian, now wife, and we were going to just go visit her family. So we went. I think it was like 2 weeks. We went to the jungle. We went to this city called Banos, which is like basically kind of like Medellin, but it's like a crater town. It was just fucking dope. And then that was like the first trip out there. Then I kept going to Ecuador, and I was like, yeah, like I fucking love it out here. The food in Ecuador was fucking amazing. And I went to basically every part of Ecuador. The only place I didn't go to was Galapagos and Cuenca. So I was like, all right, I love traveling and I could do this business virtually. Like when I was in Ecuador, I was locking up deals. We had a couple closes when I was there back then, and it was just fucking dope. So I'm like, okay, because I could travel and I could do this stuff, I want to go to Colombia because that's kind of the next country on my bucket list, and I want to go there for a month. So that was like the initial thought. And then this was back in the summer. I was gonna go for the month of September. And then Aaron Bevins was just up here. Was good, my brother. We were starting the fucking on market challenge, and I was like, fuck, like I got to stream every single day. I was like, we're just getting into this shit. So I'm like, I'm just going to wait and postpone the trip and just wait and go once this challenge was over. Obviously, you guys that follow me know we failed that challenge miserably, especially me. But started this one and started getting a lot of money, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to fucking Colombia. And my boy Marcel lives in Panama, who does my Facebook ads, my PPC shit. So me and Marcel were talking, and I'm like, dude, let's go to Colombia for like a month. Like, let's just go fucking do it. I've been trying to do this for so long. I just want to go. So I just pulled the trigger. Me and him booked an Airbnb, and now we're staying until the end of March when we go to that event out in Oklahoma City, and I'm probably gonna come back and just keep fucking doing this. Get a digital. My boy Ruben just told me you could get a digital nomad visa. I could fucking stay out here for longer periods of time because you can technically only stay for 3 months at a time. So I'm probably gonna be going here, and I mean wherever the fuck else I want to go. Because the beauty of our business is like if you have discipline, keep in mind you need discipline. Like it's very easy to come out here and see all this shit and want to fucking just go crazy and just go party, do drugs, do whatever. But I'm not like that anymore. Like I have discipline. Trust me, I've gone out a couple times since I've been here, but I've also been locking up contracts consistently since I've been here and still hitting every single goal that has to get hit on a weekly basis. So if you guys have discipline and you have Wi-Fi, a laptop, and a fucking phone, you can do this business from anywhere in the world, and that's the beauty of it. It's like you just need those three things to be successful, and then the discipline so that you could just fucking stay on it and keep doing it. So that's why I came out here. I was just like fuck, and then obviously like yeah. Like,
Oh, bro. That's nothing, man.
It's like, does Vegas have these views?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I mean, to get this
LA
that we're
have these
looking at
views?
right now, and I'm from New Jersey, so if I want to see the New York City skyline, I'm paying like fucking 5 grand, 4 grand, 3 grand a month to get an apartment like this. This is a 3 bedroom. A 3 bedroom in the areas that you have a view like this behind you. You're running minimum like 4 or 5 G's in a luxury place in fucking Jersey. So like, why would I do that when I could come here, do it for like a quarter of the price, stack up my money that I'm starting to make, and then just fucking keep scaling my business the way I want to do it and just live life on my fucking terms. So that's just the beauty of fucking being out here. And I mean, I get to meet dope people like these two, where my boy Danny McBrin fucking hits me up, puts me and Ruben in a group chat like 2 weeks ago, and he's like, "Yo, you guys are both out in Medellin together. You guys gotta fucking link up. You guys both wholesale." So me and Ruben started talking, and then today I just did the work day from his fucking crib, and it's just been a dope day, and it's just awesome seeing other people doing the shit that you're trying to fucking do.
Yeah, it's inspiring, huh? It like puts everything in perspective and gets you going. Honestly, dude, you want to be surrounded by like-minded people that are fucking hustling because it makes you want to hustle even more.
Exactly. And
So
it's like I'm more motivated here than I've ever been because it's like I want to stay here. I want to be able to do shit like this whenever I want. And the only way that you can achieve that is obviously you got to put your head down, you got to fucking grind, get the fucking money so that then once you come to places like this, like you could enjoy it a little bit.
not only that, but we can go back to the states like whenever the fuck we want.
Exactly.
Like book a flight, come back, like dude, however you want, life on your terms. You know.
And that's the fucking beauty of this shit. That's why I fucking love this shit. So how has I know you do a lot of novations. Get into that a little bit because I don't. I'm just getting into novations. I'm just getting good at them. But dude, you guys listening here, I heard Jesse on the phone before, and I'm just like, yeah, this motherfucker got it. Like, fucking. So tell everyone a little bit about how your process is working with that and kind of what you got going on the novation side.
All right, all right. So the Novations just started last year, and shout out to Rich Wonders who put me on. Honestly, I met that guy a while ago before he started this whole huge Rainmakers thing, and I met him at a meetup. I had already known him. He basically said, "Hey, bro, you're out on your own." Is when I first left Steve Trang's office. It's like, "You're out on your own, bro. Try this out." He gave me free access to the course, so I checked this out. So I started watching the videos, right? Start going through the scripts, and I started working with my boy David. We start wholesaling together, where we're buying leads and trying to close them, just trying to partner up, right? Collabing. And in that whole scenario, I lock up my first Novation contract. And this is just me taking action. I didn't reach out to Rich like, "Hey, bro, how do I do this? How do I do that?" I'm literally like, this is part of like the discipline he's talking about. I'm not watching YouTube videos. I'm not watching Netflix. I'm not watching entertainment shit, right? I'm watching his Instagram page where he does his live calls. I have the phone open on the fucking table because if I close the screen, sound turns off. Just sitting there while I'm cooking, headphones on, listening to his pitch over and over again. I embodied that and I just spit it out the exact same way he did. Got my first contract and I didn't know what the fuck to do after that. I'm like, all right, now I got the contract. There's still a whole lot of, right? The dispo, the other half, the other 50%. There's still all of that needs to get done. So I hit up Rich. That's one thing I like to do. And this is just me personally. If I'm reaching out for help, I'm coming with value. I'm coming with either my work, my time, or something that I have of value, right? And a lot of people, you don't have to do that. You can just ask for help. People will help you. I'm not trying to say they won't, but me personally is like for me to ask, I'm like, all right, how can I come with value? So I hit him up. I'm like, yo, I got a contract. This is what's going on. It's in Texas. He's like, sweet. So we get on the phone. We start working the deal. Long story short, the deal I got locked up was a person he knew from back in Arizona that used to work for him back in Kirby. So that was hilarious in itself.
Small world, huh?
Yeah,
That is
dude,
a
really
world.
small world. So he gets on the phone with him. He's like, "Yo, forgot what his name was." But he's like, "Oh, is that you, Rich?" So they start going back and forth. That deal ends up not working out, right? I keep going with my marketing with David. That kind of falls apart. We kind of split ways, and I hit Rich up. I'm like, dude, I need leads, right? Hit them up, help, but with value. I give you my time. I can work your leads, whatever the split is. Like, I just want to learn this shit. So he puts me on as one of his first closers, as like working his JV deals, and that's where this really took off. Like as soon as I start, because I'm working that and I'm working other shit, but that process and the hands-on training that I got, I mean, I got it down to a key to where I don't need to pull up the script. I can jump in at any point of the conversation, mess around a little bit, but then jump back on the script to the main points that I need to hit. And just started learning the game, dude. Started locking up contracts like crazy. And then I started getting closings. Right now, about locking up contracts. Then I start getting closings and seeing the spreads. I'm like, this is a sweet deal. Like, this ain't no 10K banger on a wholesale deal.
A lot of these deals you can't. They won't even be wholesale price.
No, dude. Um, my so as I'm working this process, Rich is getting bigger. He's starting to do more things, and he's kind of stepping away from the JV role. I kind of take helm of that in a way. We're both working JV deals. Talking to sellers. He's doing his live, and then we start bringing on other people. Because the novation process itself. I'll give you guys some gems here. It starts with the contracts, right? Obviously, but then after that, you got to go find a realtor to list the property. In Meanwhile, while you're doing that, you also got to get the house cleared up because you can't list the property all shitty, especially if you're trying to get retail value. So we're working with the sellers on getting the house cleared up. Hey, what do you need? Moving trucks, where are you going to? We can get that moved quicker just to get the process going. After you do that, you got to open up escrow, right? And make sure that the title company is aware, can handle these types of transactions because they're very peculiar. Not every title company will. One thing I've learned though is if you jump on the phone with the title company, explain the process, exactly what's going on, 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, they're like, okay, I get what you're doing. We can do that. So it's knowing the process, how each contract gets switched out for the other contract, how the novation indemnification agreement indemnifies the seller from anything that comes in from the other contract, right? So it's explaining all these little details. And then after all that, you got an inspection report and an appraisal that comes back after you receive an offer. So you receive the offer, and it's like you can't sign a purchase contract, especially if they're using a lender, right? You got to send that to the seller. So part of this process that I'm using with Rich is we're so above board, so transparent that the seller, dude, our biggest novation, well, his biggest novation was like 120, but mine that I've done was like $67,000 on a novation. And the seller didn't care, dude. Did not care that we were making $67,000 on our house because we told her up front, like, this is the whole process. We're gonna have people walking in and out. Don't worry, we're taking care of everything. And the more transparent you are, the better the deal goes on the back end because you can be shady up front, kind of swing around it. And when it gets to the back, they're like, oh wait, hold up, you're making fucking $85,000, like, oh wait, hold up, like you listed my house on market, when did that happen, right? And then you can always work around that. Those are rebuttals, right? You can work around that, but the smoother you set it up front, the easier it's gonna fucking end in the back end, right? So just overall overview is you got your purchase contracts, you need your realtors. I'm not a big fan of flat fee listings. It works for a lot of people, but that's a lot of work that I don't want to do. I don't want to be taking calls from agents. That takes time away from me to go lock up more deals. So we hire a realtor, we factor that into the price, the 6%. So that's already set. Title companies, explain to them what's going on. And now we're using a transaction coordinating company where they have nationwide title companies that handle this. Oh, yeah. So it's just like as you're growing in your business, you start adding pieces that are going to help you elevate. My hands will be here, but I guess you can't see it. You're going to help you elevate. So as you start learning these, you learn the process and you know what's the next step. You're like, okay, I can switch in this piece right here, and that takes me out of the equation. I don't have to do that no more. Okay, right here, I can switch this piece in and I don't have to do that no more. So now it's just a streamlined process where I lock up a deal, I find the agent, and I'm done until we got an offer.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of all in a nutshell, the novations and how they've been working for me and how I've been utilizing them. I can't remember this year having or locked up a cash deal. I'm like pushing them away. And there's something to be said about pushing a seller away from something. Because it's happened multiple times where I push them away from the cash offer and then they come back to the cash offer. It's like, oh, this seems like a lot. Why don't we just do this? So I'll just, pass it along. We'll still get it locked up. My main thing is going over the novation contract, sellers set, they know exactly what's going on, and then getting a deal done. Like, bro, we've been killing it. Um, Also, if you're looking for to JV on any innovation deals, check the bio and the link, bro. Submit your lead. We'll get to you. We got lead managers working the deals. We got closers like me, working the deals. So we'll help you out throughout the process, kind of keep you informed to where how everything goes. But just the innovation, if it's not a tool that you are using in your business, add the tool to your tool belt. That's it. I mean, you don't have to focus on novations to have your tool there. If you ever need it, boom, here. Actually, we have this program. This is how it works, right? Just like you would with seller finance or subject twos or hybrid methods or short sales, right? These are all tools at your disposal that you can use instead of ending the call. Hey, this isn't going to work out. You're just not willing to take low enough. It's done. Or your house, you owe the same that we would need to be lower than what you owe the bank, basically. All right, throw in a short sale, right? You're still gonna make money, right? Throughout all these tools, just make sure you have all these tools in your tool belt and actually can execute on
There's a lot to unpack there, guys. There's a lot to unpack there. So, one thing I want to say, if you guys don't want to learn the whole process of novations, find someone like Jesse or Rich Wonders and just get close on that deal where it's like, wait, hold on a second. I think this one's a novation. This one sounds like it would pass a mortgage. This one sounds like it's in good enough shape. I'm going to hit up Jesse or I'm going to hit up Rich Wonders, whatever it is. Just find somebody else that's already doing it successfully, and then you don't even have to master it yet. Obviously, like, I encourage everybody to learn the most that they can in this business and be a student of the game. But while you're becoming a student of the game, you go to somebody like Jesse and you're like, dude, I got a deal that might be innovation. He'll probably walk you through how to fucking do it. And then you can go out and do it by yourself eventually. But don't try to just do everything on your own and fuck up and screw the sellers over either. That's where we messed up for a long time, was like we would just try to keep everything in house, do everything on our own, and it wasn't getting fucking done. But once you start going to other people and leveraging your network, that's when you guys are going to get a lot more deals done than you thought you could get done. And cool, maybe you got to split it 50-50, but who the fuck cares? You're still making, that's more money on top of what you're already doing.
And in return, you're getting that knowledge too, right? Like, you're getting like held by the hand through this whole process, and you're learning as you go. So yeah, you might be splitting it at first, but later on, you know the process, and it's like no one can ever take that away from you.
Exactly. It's I was on the live yesterday with JR Hernandez, and what he was talking about is like guys like us or guys like him, once you've gone through these processes and you learned an actual sales process, how to run a business, how to actually close people, these are irreplaceable skills where, like, let's say one day wholesaling got banned altogether. We're still bulletproof because we've learned all these skills and we know what the fuck, like, how to run a business, how to do sales, how to close people. That's one of the most powerful skills. So just understand, even if you got to learn from other people, and that's another thing I wanted to unpack from what Jesse was saying, is don't fucking try to just recreate the wheel. It's already set out for you guys. He literally sat there and watched Rich Wonder's lives and just was like, okay, I'm going to do it exactly how he's saying it. And all he did was mimic his process. That's it. So if you guys are new to the business, you got to mimic somebody else's process. Eventually, you can create your own. Like, trust me, I have my own style that I'm formulating. But
Ruben likes to say this quite a bit, and I got this from him. It was model and modify. Model and modify. You model what you're seeing and then modify, because you're not the same person they are. You're a completely different personality. So modify to your personality on how you would say it. But model what they're saying, right? Just say
I
it in
love
your
that.
way.
No, that's a fact. And I mean that's just how you guys gotta be. Just don't feel like you gotta do it all on your own. Go to other people that are doing it better than you, learn their styles, learn what they're doing that's working for them, and then send them deals if you can't get them to the finish line yourself. And then eventually you start doing your own shit. And this isn't even like we're trying to sell you guys like fucking JV with us. Nah, trust me, we got deals coming in every single day, the three of us. But what it is
We're
like
JVing with people too. It's like,
exactly. So
I'll actually throw something in there. Like, as of right now, this second, hit up the link. The lead manager will get to you. I'm like slammed. I am slammed. So I'm not saying send me your deals by any means, but if you want them to get work, you can tap into the link. But yeah, this is what this does for you. You get slammed. Once you get slammed, you got so much to do. You gotta have like a checklist. Boom, I gotta get this done, get it done. Boom. That's the discipline in it, right? Not just let shit slip between the cracks. The discipline is getting the little things done to get the deal over.
That's it. And it just comes through the fucking actions. If you guys are just up at bat every single day, you're going to start hearing sellers say certain things that it's like, wait, this is an ovation. This is a creative deal. This is a cash deal. And then once you start learning those things, you give them to other people that are doing them so you can learn them, or you just go on YouTube and fucking learn everything for yourself, however the fuck like floats your boat faster. But whatever gets you guys going is like just take the action and you guys will fucking get there. That's really like this business is 100% about action. That's it. Like the more you guys do, and then the more networking you guys do and the more people you guys meet. Like I just from sitting next to Jesse, I'm learning shit every single fucking minute I've been here in their house today. And it's just a result of just like if I had an ego and I'm like, nah, I have fucking 43 contracts on the board right now. I'm good. I don't gotta fucking learn from him. Then guess what? I don't learn shit. I haven't closed an ovation deal yet. So it's like I'm learning, I'm getting close every single day. But I guarantee you, if I get close on an ovation and I'm stuck somewhere, he's gonna fucking help me. And it's just getting your network right and just constantly being willing to like honestly meet new people every single day. I think it was Valerie Galvin said this. It's like there's people out there that just be walking around, they just like look like they like smelled some like fucking shit or something. They're fucking looking at people. But it's like, no, your money is out there to people you don't even fucking know yet. So the more people you guys meet, I think Brad Lee says the more hands you shake, the more money you make. The more people you guys meet, the more money you guys are gonna make. And that's why I love traveling. I love fucking doing shit like this because it just gets you in front of other people. I probably would have never met these guys if I didn't take the trip and go out to fucking Colombia. And I'm sure we're gonna be breaking bread together soon and doing some fucking deals together.
We just met today, and we're like already just feeding off of each other, vibing off each other, and like just makes it all better, you know.
That's what it is. And I mean, he's fucking amazing at dispo, and we're trying to master our dispo process right now. He's already given me tips that I fucking wouldn't even thought about. And it's like, that's how you guys are going to grow. It's just by being willing to get put in front of other people. And then obviously just be fucking humble. That's
Humble yourself. That's what I was gonna say.
He was saying like I'm learning. Tony Robbins talked about this on a podcast I just recently watched. It's like every time I meet somebody, I consider them superior to me, and it's not saying like, oh, they're better or higher up than me. It's through life experiences. That person has gone through a certain set of life experiences that makes them superior to me in some way, just like I've gone through a certain set of life experiences that makes me superior in some way. So if you look at people that way, instead of like, right off the bat a good judgment and like, oh no, they have something that you can learn, right? Whether it's beneficial to the business or not, there's something that they've gone through that that they're experienced that you're not, right? So that's part of being humble. It's just like everybody, you can learn something from everybody, even if it's what not to do.
And student of the game, right?
that's it.
Be a student of the game all fucking life. So
It's funny because you actually learn a lot from people doing bad shit too, and it's like you can take. There's lessons in there. If you see somebody doing some fucked up shit, pay attention too, because there's many things. It's like that's what I'm not gonna do, and there's even mentors in our space or whatever that do the wrong shit, and you can learn from them too. From what it's like, okay, they probably have some good shit to teach you too. I promise you, but the wrong shit they're doing, you know exactly what not to do, and that'll help you guys grow in your business as well. Hell yeah. But yo, thank you guys for coming on here with me today. We're gonna go walk around Medellin a little bit and fucking I'm gonna go get some good sleep after this. And I'll be back here tomorrow at probably 11 a.m. tomorrow. Come through, watch me lock up some fucking contracts live. You guys go have a good rest of your night. I love y'all and fucking peace out.